Namaste. There is a lot of fear within us, and when Rahu mahadasha begins, or when you are going through Rahu antar Dasha, or when Rahu is transiting through the 8th house or 12th house, then you tend to fear more. Fear haunts you. Fear is just a thought, and that thought haunts you. And when fear haunts you, when you are in the grip of fear, you cannot live your life in the true sense. And so in this podcast, I have talked about fear and Rahu Mahadasha. The main cause of fear is indeed our illusion that somebody is going to harm me or somebody is harming me. Fear of black magic, fear of ghosts, fear of dogs. Many people fear dogs, stray dogs. That who knows, the dog may bite me. It is a fear. In reality, there is no truth in it. So, fear is something that you have to eradicate. And that fear goes away only when you start turning inwards. So in this podcast, I have talked briefly about Rahu, fear, and how you can overcome fear. So let's begin. Fear is of the mind. Moon signify mind. Rahu is the north node of moon. Mind is a traffic of thoughts. Thoughts, and many more thoughts. All these thoughts are born from illusions. Rahu represent these illusions, and that is why mind is very elusive by nature. Whatever your mind thinks is an illusion. The mind has absolutely no role to play when it comes to finding the truth, the real thing. That is why the great enlightened masters mention that in the space of no mind, truth descends like light. When you start going through Rahu Mahadasha, the mind is filled with all kinds of illusions that leads to many fears. Depending on the placement of Rahu in your chart, you will be haunted by a certain fear. Rahu in first house will cause fear of losing one's image in the society. Rahu in second will cause fear of losing one's wealth. Rahu in third will cause fear from siblings and fear of failing in a business enterprise. Rahu in fourth can cause fear of losing one's property and fear from mother. Rahu in fifth causes fear of failing in relationship or failing in competitive exams. Rahu in sixth cause fear of secret enemies and fear of black magic attacks. Rahu in seventh cause fear of failing in marriage, relationships, or fear from marriage partner. Rahu in eighth cause fear from supernatural elements such as black magic or fear of death. Rahu in ninth cause fear of fatherly figures or losing scholarship opportunities. It also leads to fear while traveling for long journeys. Rahu in the 10th puts constant fear of failing in career or fear of failing in achieving career goals. Rahu in 11th cause fear of falling behind in social networking or losing ground in gaining popularity in social circles. Rahu in 12th cause constant fear of secret enemies and black magic attacks. And so during Rahu Mahadasha, depending on the house placement of Rahu in your ascendant chart, you will have to go through a certain fear. Many people are cheated or looted during Rahu Mahadasha because they are vulnerable and easy target of fake babas and fake people who take maximum advantage and loot these people. When a person is not truthful to himself, when a person is a pakka cheater and a hypocrite, then such a person is more fearful. Such a person is constantly haunted by many fears. However, if a person is truthful to himself, then such a person is always courageous and never fears. So, it all depends on who you are from within. Women who cheat their husbands or boyfriends are always filled with many fears, simply because they are not truthful to themselves. Similarly, men who cheat their wife or girlfriends are always filled with many fears, simply because they are not honest and truthful to themselves. You will be fearless only when you are honest with yourself. The great spiritual master Paramahams Yogananda says, "Be honest with yourself. The world is not honest with you. The world loves hypocrisy. When you are honest with yourself, you find the road to inner peace." The solution to live your life without any fear is by being honest with yourself. When you follow a spiritual lifestyle by meditating daily, by chanting daily, and by being real, then you start becoming fearless. So it all comes down to your acharana, how you live your life on daily basis. Using expensive brands uplifts the standard of your life, and implementing high level conscious living uplifts the quality of your life. And so, along with raising the standard of your life, you should also focus on raising the quality of your life. And the quality of your life is measured on the parameter of how fearless you are. The more fearless you live, the more quality life you live. And the more fearful you live, the less quality life you live. Fear is the worst enemy. Always remember this. It simply stops you from enjoying the beauty of life. Swami Vivekananda says, "The moment you fear, you are nobody." It is fear that is the great cause of misery in the world. It is fear that is the greatest of all superstitions. It is the fear that is the cause of our woes. And it is fearlessness that brings heaven in a moment. You should never fear God. Instead, you should love God. Unfortunately, religions have produced God-fearing people, whereas spirituality has produced God-loving people. And that is the most striking difference between religion and spirituality. One day, a devotee asked Bhagwan Raman Maharshi, "How does one get rid of fear?" And Bhagwan Raman Maharshi said, "What is fear? It is only a thought. Is there anything beside the self?" The ego arises and sees objects as external. If the ego doesn't exist, then the self alone exists and there is nothing external. And so, realizing yourself by turning inwards is the key to overcome all kinds of fear. The difference between a man and a saint is of selfless love. Man visits God out of fear, while saint visits God out of love. Saint surrender to God out of love. Love has no rules, love has no regulations. When you worship God out of love, you don't have to look at the watch to see if it's prayer time. You can pray any time. You don't have to follow a certain tradition or custom. You can follow your own consciousness. And what is more divine than consciousness? For God is the ultimate fragrance of your consciousness. If you are living with consciousness, then no fear can engulf you. No man can harm you. You are awake. You are living with awareness. And so, when living through Rahu Mahadasha, if you are a truthful, honest person, if you are honest to yourself, and if you are taking efforts to raise the level of your awareness by daily meditating and daily chanting, then let me tell you, you will be alright and you will be able to live fearlessly. And that would be your greatest victory, a victory to cherish in the days to come. Love to all my close followers. Remember to meditate and chant daily. Remember to not to fall to any temptations and to not to get trapped in the web of fake men and fake women who claim to remove black magic spells, because nobody can do that. If you truly want to overcome all kinds of black magic spells, then the only way is to surrender to your Lord, to follow a sattvic way of life, to read the holy scriptures of your faith daily, and to chant daily. It is only when you take efforts to purify yourself that the black magic spells and the many fears caused by black magic attacks will start fading away and you will be back with a bang. Remember, nobody can harm you if you take efforts in improving the quality of your karma. Those men and women who continue to offend others by posting hurtful comments, abusive comments, will surely suffer during Rahu Mahadasha and Rahu Antardasha, as well as during all kinds of difficult transits. However, those beautiful meditative souls who take efforts towards their self growth, who never hurt others, such men and women will definitely be protected, and my sharing is only for such selective, good hearted men and women. Stay blessed, you all, and remember to meditate and chant every day. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru. Om Gam गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।